Morning. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
All right. Looks like we got a little bit of audience. You can just wave. But all right. So let's begin. Like I said, I'm a learner. So let me greet with Estongon Chakaide Gaga. Woo!
That's pretty good.
I know that's for more than one person, so it helps us to practice, daily. Even just say good morning to to the sun, to the sky, to just practice. That's what helps me, is to practice, and I'm sure that helps a lot of people to practice. Right here we've got Mvhayv Stephen. He's going to be helping us. We're going to be doing a lot of songs today. We're going to do 3 songs today. It's Friday, so hopefully we'll make you smile, and you'll smile and sing with us. But we are going to go over the sounds and the tones. Barnett is out today, so I was reviewing her lessons, and she's trying to make sure we have the right sounds and tones to start putting together some Mvskoke words. I've seen that she was doing north and south and the directions. But we're gonna, just have a little bit of a different day. We're gonna, like I said, practice the sounds. We're gonna get our mouth ready to speak Mvskoke with some songs. And then we're gonna go over some simple sentences that you can practice your sounds with. So right now we're gonna go over and do the sound practice, the Mvskoke alphabet. And we're just gonna do it once, just to get in the rhythm of switching our brain from English to Mvskoke, and to do the sound, the mouth movements of Mvskoke. So if you just mute your mics, because somebody did tell me that the time difference sometimes gives a lag for those of you guys who are on, and you can hear a lag. So okay, just like I said, just follow and then say it where you're at, so you can, like I said, get your mouth ready to speak Mvskoke.
Tell Steve Ella said hello.
Oh, don't go out there, don't do it.
And you in Hocadalgos.
All right, let's see. Let me see. We're having a little bit of a issue here. I can't see my. Okay, there's. Okay, here we go. So chi, I, E, B, E, A, Ki, Li, Me, Ni, Oh, Fi, Thi or Flee, Si, Thi, U, We, Ye. All right, good job. Does anybody have any questions before we move on? All right, no questions. We're going to go to we're going to do, I would say, about 4 2-letter syllables. Like I said, you guys say it at home, and then we'll move on to the 3-letter syllables. Okay, let's go to, because we usually do the first few. Ma, me, me, mo, mu, ma. Na, ni, ni, ne, no, nu, na. Ba, bi, pe, bo, bu, ba. Tha, thi, they, tho, thu, so. One more. Sa, si, say, so, su, so. All right, everybody getting that? Is everybody starting to move? Mvskoke starting to just take over your body? All right. Let's go to 3 letters. All right. Get this going down. Let's do different ones. Okay. Let's go here. Come on. Okay. Boss, fist, feast, face, boast, foos, fuss. Joss, shiz, cheese, chase, chose, choose, chus. Spa, spit, spee, spay, spo, spoo, spa. Sla, slit, slee, slay, slow, slew, slut. All right. Anybody have any questions, comments? Anybody want me to go over anything? Are we good? All right. Let's go ahead and move on. Okay, go ahead.
Desiree, I have a question.
Yes.
Where can we find these written out the way that you have them provided for us? Is it on YouTube or because I have the old ones that don't have that extra column like you've been
Right.
sharing with us?
They should be where you've been getting all your other ones. I know Jordan uploaded it and I seen it on there this morning. So
Well, she used to send them to me, but I haven't been receiving them at my Gmail address.
okay.
But someone had posted a few weeks back that there was a site there where we could retrieve all those.
Okay, let's see.
I think she does, Jordan on YouTube one and old lady one.
Oh, okay. I see. She's posting something right now.
Okay,
Thank you. Mado.
That's it was, I think Jordan posted this on YouTube, so.
okay.
Uh-huh.
Oh, you seen it, Jordan put to everyone.
Right. She just now posted it.
Okay, all right.
I go, Desiree,
Yes, go ahead.
I go through, as I said yesterday, Creek and Bonaga, and then it brings up the lessons with, Becky Barnett's name on it.
Right,
And so when you go into that lesson, it'll give you the option of looking at like documents.
mhm.
And so you can go through there and pick out the documents you want. So I just sat there one day and went through there and got all the copies I needed.
All right, there's a lot of resources out there.
Yes.
Have to kind of weed your way through it because there's a lot. And you've got a lot of different Mvhayvs out there and, you've got their handouts. So, there, like I said, there's a lot of resources out there for us to put out there and you guys can print it or just look at it and ask us any questions during classes. All right, thank you, Ms. Barnett. All right, we're gonna have Mvhayv Stephen lead us in this song. If you could mute your mics, then we can sing this. Like I said, today's a Friday. We're gonna just sing some songs, feel good, and just absorb the Mvskoke energy that we've got. All right, go ahead.
Well, this song was, from my understanding, was sung on the Trail of Tears. And I was also told that it was used as a prayer song, yet to face the east. The words of it says, Momes go magis, Holy the Loven, Momes go magis. That's basically saying all of you keep striving, do not give up and go to heaven. They would sing songs of encouragement like that during the Trail of Tears because it was a hard time. And then the next first line would be Mvhayv Bucks. I be on a holy the Lord, Mvhayv Bucks. I be on a holy the Lord. The Christians have gone on to heaven, and it's repeated twice. And that's really kind of saying, if the praying people, if they made it to heaven, we can make it to heaven. So it's kind of saying a silent message. We can make it. And I use this song a lot of times when I'm going through hard times. It encourages me to keep going, to make it through whatever I'm going through. And Enoch Kogis, Abiana, Holit Enoch Kogis, Abiana, Holit, this slaying like families have gone on. And it's repeated twice. And then the third line is talking about, this one's very special to me. Because when they say Mvhayv Desiray, they're talking about little children. And I believe that they were in reference to the little children that died along the Trail of Tears. Because many of us that know the story, soldiers would take the baby boys, 2 years and younger, pick them up, sling them like baseball bats, bash their heads against the trees, squashing them like watermelons, all as an attempt by the government to totally wipe out the Creek Nation from the face of the earth. I really believe that that's in reference to those children. You know, they've gone on to heaven. If they can make it, we can make it. And so I use this song many times to help me through troubled times. And it goes like this.
No. Does anybody want to try to sing it again? Or does anybody have any questions?
I really liked it. I tried to sing along, but I'm slow because I'm trying to repeat, say the words in Creek in my brain and outward.
Yeah.
But also there towards I think it was the second line, we started having a little bit of technical issues, the warbling. And I know it wasn't the singer, it was the technology. But I loved his singing.
Right, that's right. People are loving the scene. That's good. I'm gonna ask Mvhayv Stephen to sing it again. because I wasn't familiar with the song, so I joined in a little bit later, but I needed
Okay.
to hear how it sounded. And like I said, just follow along and sing.
Yeah.
Just turn your mics off and you can see where he's going. You can see each sound he makes when he's singing. So I think sometimes singing reaches other people and helps them learn because they do learn differently. Hold on, let me see. There's a question. Okay, Mado, everybody likes singing. One more question here. All right.
Moments, oh, melodies of melodies of
All right, Mado, Mache. Great job. All right. Anybody have any questions on that song or comments? Anybody want to share any comments? Did you guys feel the strength and the power of the words? That's why I tell you guys, I get excited because, you know, you hear his voice and how powerful, and you can just feel emotions. And that's our language. So when you hear people, when I hear people talking and when I hear singing, it just gets me excited. So I hope you guys felt that as well.
Mahaya,
Yes.
something that I wanted to share, because I'm a first speaker, I've had many opportunities to sit under or be in the service with the elders that delivered their sermons in Mvskoke. Boy, you talk about power. You talk about healing. You talk about, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And so when you talk about how powerful those words are. And a lot of even non-Muskogee people say that it is easier to understand, Christianity when you hear it in your own language. And so one time I had an opportunity to offer a friend of mine who was Japanese. There was a Japanese preacher that was going to come visit our church because we had a multi-international church. So she came and she was just in tears. And so to this day, as far as I know, if she's still alive, she became a very powerful Christian woman and was able to share the gospel because she said, I heard it in my language and it was amazing, she said. So those are things that, I think a lot of you will miss out on, is because, now most of the churches deliver their sermons in English, and, very seldom do you hear, a sermon in our Muskogee language. And one time too, I had a chance to be at a funeral, and I didn't realize because I was trying to sit close to my sister, and so I was a couple of rows behind her, and so all of a sudden these men started filling in behind her group, and so when it came time for the Muskogee songs, oh man, I just sat there and just cried because the music that they sang all around me, I couldn't even hear me singing because that's how loud they were and powerful. Like I said, I just cried. I was just so happy and so blessed. And, and I'm thankful to this day for having the opportunities that I've had to listen to many different, Muskogee speaking preachers.
Right. Well, that's good. Mado for sharing. And like I said, and I constantly say is, those of us who have the Muskogee blood, you can feel it. You can feel the strength, the power. And I tried to tell that to somebody who was not Stajati, who was not native, indigenous, and he couldn't understand it. I'm like, because you're not attached to it. It doesn't, our ancestors spoke this language and it had power for them. So, it gets me excited. I said, I'm sorry, but I can't convey what it's like to somebody who doesn't know. But for those of us who see it and have that connection, you can just feel the strength and the power. And like Mvhayv Stevens said, I'll be singing some of these Muskogee songs in my car when I'm driving because you can just feel the power and to me, stress-free. It just like relieves stress. It was, one of the things that I've learned when I've been studying is there's a lot in our language and our culture that cannot be defined or cannot be explained, but our indigenous native Stajati people know there's things that you can't show, they're not tangible, you can't see it, but you can feel it and you just know some things. So I know that there's strength and power in our language. That's what gets me going and keeps us going. Because, like Mvhayv Stevens said, they sing songs through the trail because they had to lift themselves up. They had to keep themselves going.
Exactly.
And so I pray every day, thank you for letting me be here. If it wasn't for that one person in your line, you would not have that connection. You would not, a lot of us would not be here if that was that one person who did not sing these songs, feel the strength and keep going and keep going. So I get excited about the language. Does anybody have any questions before we start? Go ahead.
Mvhayv, I've shared this before, but a year and a half ago, I died and came back with COVID round 5 for me, and I wasn't able to walk. And I played the hymns in the night when I was fighting for my life. And then I started to be able to have the ability to walk again by holding onto the chairs and kind of moving my legs to these hymns. So I am Stajati, I'm just not Mvskoke, but it is extraordinarily powerful. And I thank you for all that work that everybody has done and the elders that recorded all of the hymns, because for me it has literally been life-changing and life-saving. So Mado.
All right, yeah, like I
Amen.
said, there's power in our language, there's power in the knowledge that our ancestors had. And, those of us who are trying to learn and trying to teach, we want to make sure that you guys and generations after us have that strength to go forward and to represent our native people and show them we are still here. We are still here as people, and we have our language and our culture. All right. Any other questions before we start? Okay, we're gonna sing this one, and I broke it down because I know Mvhayv Barnett, and this helped me as well. Broke it down in your sounds that we've just gone through, the 2-letter and 3-letter sounds. When you have a sentence, if it helps you down to sit there and just to mark it, break it down so you can speak it, do it. It's just a tool to help you. And I also have the English translation there so you know what you're speaking. All right.
Ready?
Yeah.
Yes. Always, always get this goes. It's always get this goes. I'll be done. So is always it is for you. I'll be done. It's forget always it is for yes, always always it is for.
All right.
Well, I was about ready to go on.
Hi, Stephen. He gets going, and boy, you can just feel, like I said, the strength and the power in the voice and in the language. Does anybody have any questions on this one? This is one that we've sung before, and it should be in the documents that you guys can look at. So if you got the sound in your head, you can go ahead and sing these songs that we have presented for you on your own, and that'll help your mouth movements, and it helps you to learn these words. So these are tools that not everybody might, it might not help everybody, but it helps some people. I know it helped me. All right, anybody questions? No? All right, and then like I showed before at the bottom, it's let's see if I can scoot that over. You can find it on YouTube. There's different people singing it. If you lose the sound of this song, you can find some of these on YouTube. You can hear them. Sometimes people go a little faster and a little slower depending on who's singing. So it's your choice on whether you like to sing it fast or slow. But like I said, just drive around in the car, or just hum it while you're in the shower, and it'll keep your mind. For what we're trying to do is switch our mind from English to Mvskoke. So this is one of the little tools that I had to help me keep my mind thinking about Mvskoke, thinking Mvskoke way. And I hope that helps somebody, but it helped me. So I'm sharing with you guys. All right. Let me scoot that over. This is our next song. We're only going to do the purple part. I know I've printed it out where you can see more lines, but we're only going to do like the purple blue part. All right. Ready?
Is me mana bogis Please.
Oh, my Jay. Trying to use some of my words, because like I said, I'm still learning. So I know we went over that earlier this week. So anybody have any questions on that or comments or anything they want to share?
Mahaya, not a question, but definitely a comment. I just wanted to thank you for introducing us to these. You know, yesterday after class, I called my grandfather. He loves hearing the Mvskoke hymns, but we're out in California, so
Okay.
there's no churches out here for him to attend. And I actually sung this one on the phone for him,
Oh,
and he was so touched, and so much so I thought he was just, you know, trying to feed my ego about it. But then when my aunt came home from work at night, she sent me a text saying, hey, Dad said you called him and sung a Mvskoke hymn, and he wants you to record it so he can send it to his sister Bernice in Oklahoma. And I said, oh my goodness, that so you created a little bit of a monster here. But I really enjoyed being introduced to this and being able to share it with him, because it really moves him to know that we're learning these things as well. So Mado.
yeah, good job. Thanks for your comments. That helps me and Mvhayv Stephen, makes us feel good that what we're doing, we're seeing results, and people like, learning our language, and we're trying to present it, and all the Mvhayvs have their own way of presenting. And if you watch all of us, you're going to learn something different. So we're just trying to reach everybody as much as we can.
Okay, Mahaya.
Yes, go ahead.
My cousin works there in the language department, and he has a lot of CDs that he can send you. So if you call him and give him your address, he can send them to you. You don't have to try to record them and this and that and everything. They're ready. They're just sitting there. And so Steve, my cousin Brandon. Yeah, he's my cousin, and so he says, we've got them, if they want, if it's wanted, needed, or whatever. And so that's how I got my music, through him. So you might give him a call and let him know. Okay. And also I was going to share with you, because Steve was talking about the Trail of Tears, and my grandmother used to tell me that her mother came on the so it would be my great grandmother who came on the trail as a child, and she survived. And her parents were listed on the census they took when they were gathering them together in Alabama, and we found it, and I thought, oh my goodness. And so my great grandmother's name isn't on there, and I'm thinking either she was my great grandmother was pregnant or something, but anyway, as a baby, my great grandmother came that way. Muin ada di dos, taboji, tagajet amona you doing much.
That's what she said. That's what her grandma had told her a long time ago. About travel to you.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, no, thank you for sharing. I like asking people for their comments and questions because we learn from each other. We've got stories that have not been told or have not been recorded. So to open it up and ask for comments and questions, we're all learning together. So it's exciting to hear, the strength of, our ancestors and know that we're singing the songs, some of the same songs that they sung, to get them through. So if they were going through all of that, we can surely get through what we need to get through, in today's day. It might not be easy, but we've got the songs, we've got the words, we've got the power and the strength of our hymns. And like Ella was saying is, they are recorded. There are CDs if you guys are looking for CDs of the singings and I think alphabet, and I think there's also some stories on there. So I think you can email the Mvskoke language department and then ask for them and they'll send them out. But there's more out there. There's more hymns out there and more resources out there. But, just reach out to the Mvskoke language department and, we'll get your information and we can send them to you. So, grandparents, parents, people who have not heard these songs in a while can enjoy them as well. All right.
The story, I just want to share that the story that Steve shared earlier about the soldiers and the babies, that was a story that we'd heard when we were growing up. And the other thing is somebody from the language department posted the Baby Noche song the other day. And when we were growing up, because we weren't language speakers, even though my parents were, we would sing that Baby Noche song, but not knowing the history of the song. And I thought that was really great. And Woodrow Haney, quite a few years ago, he shared a story with me. I grew up going to the Indian churches, going to funerals, and we always had a quilt on our caskets. We just thought that was just part of our protocol. Never thinking anything about it until I went to a non-native funeral and they didn't do the same things we did. Yeah. And I asked my dad, I said, well, why don't they have a quilt on the casket? Mm-hmm. And then in my later years, young adult years, that's when I met Woodrow. And he shared with me the reasoning for the quilts was because of the Trail of Tears. That's a remembrance. And that's why we do that.
Mahaya.
Go ahead.
Ukthatnet abiyadi dundos, magagi doing madis. They used to say that they would just cover them up with a blanket and then keep moving because the soldiers wouldn't let them, have a proper funeral or anything like that. And so that blanket, they would just cover them up and then just keep walking. And so that's the significance of putting the blanket on the coffin. And my aunt used to tell me that when you get a blanket, it needs to be with white cotton on the inside. And so not like a beige color or anything like that. It needs to be all white and mujashing, a new batting of white cotton. What she used to say.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting, Ella. That's exactly right. And I have a chest full of ours waiting for when that day comes. But that's exactly right. That's what we were taught too. The Trail of Tears.
I didn't know that. See, like I said, we're all learning. We're all in our different journeys, but that's why I open it up so people can share because there's things that I don't know. And my highest Stevens, taught me, and Mvhayv Barnett, and then we can learn also from you guys, so, but oh, thank you. All right, anybody else? Okay. So Mvhayv Barnett was talking about, using our sounds. And these are simple sentences to help get you started. And as you can see, got the full C, dos. So you see, if you just put a space between the P and the O, a space, SE, you look at those two syllables, we've already said them in our two syllable sheet. So we've already said all of these words. So right now we're just putting them together. Pozidos. And if you have to go slow, go slow. That's how we're gonna learn. And like I said yesterday, it's almost like for me, like I'm a learner, but I need that extra training wheel to get started to get started going forward. Those of us who need the extra training wheel, it's not a problem, because we're eventually gonna get to the point where we can take the training wheels off and keep learning, and we'll be caught up with a lot of you guys. So, and we want to be as open and as long as we're going forward in our language journey. It doesn't matter if you go slow or not, or even if you have to take a break for whatever reason, get back on it. Just start again, because many of us had started a couple of years ago and then stopped and started again for whatever reason. But this right here, it shows you the pozi hatki dos. So we're just adding a little bit more of our sounds and our syllables to make words. So that's why I brought this one up, because I know Mvhayv Barnett is showing you, the breakdown. But you can go from it's a cat to what color is the cat? Cat is white. It is white. And it's just by using all of these syllables, all of these sounds, all of these tones that Mvhayv Barnett's constantly, conveying that we need to pay attention. We make simple sentences, and from the simple sentences become, we add another group of sounds and syllables, and it changes the whole sentence. So, if you start up here, pozidos, and then you go to pozihatkidos, we're just constantly building on what we're learning. Pozihatkidos. So, and like I said, I like this slide because it breaks it down to you exactly what's going on. Right here, it says cat, white, run is. So that's the literal translation of the Mvskoke sentence you just read. And of course, that's when you translate it into English, the white cat is running. And then you gotta help me with this one.
Okay.
Pozi, hatki,
Buffni,
litkidos. All right. So you see how you're just making a sentence with sounds and tones that you've already said. We've already said it in the 2-letter and 3-letter practice. So you can see how putting these sounds and tones together, creates different meanings and different sentences. And so you see underneath it says cat, and you see pozi, white, hatki, fast, buffni, run, litki, and then is dos. So you see how all these sounds and tones are coming together to make all of these sentences. And then you see underneath it says, cat, white, fast, run is. And I know Mvhayv Becky was telling you guys that to those of us who don't understand, that doesn't sound right, but to those who are starting to switch from English to Mvskoke way of thinking, it sounds perfectly right. And then you have to back up and then translate it to those of those around you that don't speak Muskogee, you're like, you have to change it from Muskogee to English. The white cat is running fast. Ooh. So, and then the next one is Posey Hudkey. I always get caught up on Buffney, Foye Lipkidos. So you see that adding more of these sounds and together is making bigger sentences. So it just, you have to start from the small, the small sentence, and then you go down and you add cat white fast far ran is, the white cat ran fast far away. So you can see that adding these things makes more of a sentence that more descriptive, and you can see that our language and our words are more descriptive of what's going on. So to me, it seems like you get a better picture of what's going on when you're listening and you're speaking Muskogee. So I haven't practiced these, and Mvhayv Stevens helping me. And so you've got Posey, Hudkey, Mvhayv, Buffney, Obey, Lidkidos. So you see, like I said, I'm still learning. So you see that we're all at different levels, but we can sit there and break things down to where you can say it. You might not be confident, but it'll come. Confidence will come because you're going to keep practicing. And you see the literal translation is cat, white, ate, fast, far, ran, is. I like this way of teaching and this way of showing you guys, because you can see literally what these things are and what they're doing. And then of course, then you switch your mind and you speak English and you translate the Muskogee to English, and the white cat ate and ran fast far away. My hands. And you see that now this is where I'm still learning these possessive. So mine isn't that mean mine?
No,
Oh, this okay. Posey, Hudkey, Mvhayv, Butchujit, Wolfie, Obey, Litkidos. As you see, my mouth is. Go ahead.
Mabosi Hutkat, Homabit, Fajijut, Bavnin, Hobayin, Litkat, Litkidos,
She puts that Hutkat as saying
Homabit,
white.
that HOMIPET, Homabit,
Yeah,
Fudskit,
Yeah.
Bavnin,
or it was full.
Hobayin, Litkadidos.
Yeah, and she's making that past tense and by saying lit gutty. Yeah.
Okay,
Gutty
yeah.
those.
And that's one thing that I'm still learning is the past tense and all the tenses. But I've got the pretty much the basics done. I've gotten to a certain point, and Mvhayv Stephen and all the Mvhayvs are helping me, like I said. But you can see how, like it said, you add things to make them to make the sentence longer. You see the literal translations on this particular sheet, and then you see the English translation on this particular sheet. That's how I like to show what's going on for those of us who are still trying to switch our brains from English to Muskogee. And it'll come. It'll eventually come. On
And so Mvhayv,
yes, go ahead.
I am excited because now I can see it and I can read it.
Right.
I'm starting to read better. And
Good.
I want to thank pat myself on the back because I didn't think I would get to this point.
Good job. All right, I'll give you a wave. Woo. All right. That's good. It's always good to hear the success stories of people. I see thumbs up and clapping. people are giving you claps and thumbs up. But it's good to hear that, you know, because like you said, you're a speaker and now you're learning how to read it, you know, and write it. So, you know, we can all learn and we're on different learning journeys. Yeah, Mache, somebody said Mache, everybody's saying, good job, Ella, good job. But, you know, and that's good to know because sometimes we'll look at some of these speakers and we're like, we expect them to know everything, but sometimes they're on a learning journey too because they spoke. They weren't able to read or they weren't able to write. And so we're all in these different areas of learning. For some reason, I thought if you spoke it, you knew how to write it and read it. But, you know, as I've learned, that's not always the case. And you've got a step ahead of us because you can speak it. But, you know, like I said, we're all still learning. And I like to hear the stories. That's why I ask if anybody has anything to add or anything to say, because, you know, unless you tell us, we don't know. We don't know. All right.
Okay, can you hold it to that screen right for just a minute? I need
Okay.
to get that last word.
Okay. Do you want me to go down a little bit
No,
or?
no, it's fine.
Okay.
I wanted to get that last word.
Okay. All right. So if you see like the posi hatkidos, that brings into your other vocabulary. That's when you're describing the color. So like I said, this helps me to learn because you can see the literal and then you can see the English. And I always tell the Mahayas that I have to go step by step because that's how I learn, step by step. And if I leave a step out, then it seems like something's missing. So if this helps you when you're writing or when you're reading the other Mahayas handouts, you can just pencil it in there, you know, even if you don't know all of the words, just pencil in what you know, the words that you know for a sentence. You know, if you don't know all of it, you'll kind of get the gist of it. Like, you know, like this one. Okay, is it showing? Okay, posi hatki, Buffni, Litki, Dos. You know, if that helps you to make the lines in between, do that. And then to add on top of your learning, sit there and pick out the words you know. Pick out the words you know, write it underneath, and then you'll kind of get the gist of what's going on. And then pretty soon you're going to know every single word that's in that sentence. But just take it, like I said, step by step by step. You learn posi, you learn hutki, you know, you might not know Bhakti or Litkidos, but, you know, you will fill in the gaps and you will start to learn these vocabulary, these words that we're speaking. And that's just to help you. And for me to learn, I always create these little games for myself, you know, like I said, little, and it starts little, you know, you go through, you're driving, oh, Automate Lusty, Automate Johnny, you know, and then you get to, you know, the English street sign and, you know, say, you can even go to the stop sign and use Mvskoke there. It goes C, D, O, B. Well, they don't have a P, but, you know, something like that. If it doesn't have it in Mvskoke, just say as much Mvskoke as you can in your daily life. In your daily, you know, you're driving around, you see a tree, you know, you see, you know, earth, Igana. Just keep yourself thinking constantly in Mvskoke, and it'll start coming really fast. Just, you know, get all your little puzzle pieces and put it together, and then pretty soon you're going to have a big picture. And that's how I like to try to teach us, like I said, one step at a time. And I'm showing you ways that helps me. It might be different than Mahaya Stephen, Mahaya Barnett, and all the other Mahayas, but take from all of what we're teaching you and apply what helps you the best, and apply what you know, what's going to help you remember these things. All right, does anybody have any questions? Yes. And I do look at the chat, so if you guys have something you want to say that that you don't want us, everybody to hear, we see your chats. We see all the encouraging messages, and we all see all the questions. And before we go, let me just go over this one. You see that it's the Baba. Some people, and I know I learned it this way, I just learned Stebaba. S-T-E Baba. But this one is Stebaba, and it shows you it's people, person, human, eater. But you might hear it Stebaba, because sometimes people, take off one letter and shorten it for, whatever reason, their region does that, or whatever they do. I've seen it. It's Stebaba and Stebaba. So if you hear Stebaba, it's the same thing. It's just, like I said, regional and family differences. And then you can see also that it's broken down, and these should be available to download if you guys don't have it, or if you can't see it right now. But it's Debabados. You see
Mahaya.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yesterday we were talking about names, and then I remembered something, from what Mahaya Becky was saying earlier, that and you said it now, that sometimes we take off one of the letters at the beginning of the word, or sometimes we get cut off maybe the N at the end of the word. And so just like you're saying here. And I was talking to Amy one day, and I said stongo instead of istongo.
Right.
That's the way I've always said it. And so that reminded me too, that a long time ago, I remember my grandparents calling me Egalani, putting that E at the beginning of it. Ega, for head, and then Lani for the color. And so, but as time went on, they started, calling me Galan. And then a little while later, my cousins, they started calling me Kalani. And so it just kept changing and changing, and over the years. And I was thinking about that last night, and I said, my name's gone through a change. And so, but anyway, I just thought I'd share that again.
Thank you.
I was just privileged to have the grandparents that I had.
All right, Mado. All right, so it looks like we're come to the 1 o'clock. I just wanted, like I said, I just wanted you guys to see the breakdown and how it helps me. I hope it helps you guys. You see that you just add one more word, and it's just one more word that you're going to know. And these are really simple sentences and simple phrases. So does anybody have any questions? I think we had a good session. We got to hear Mahaya Stevens sing. We've got to, listen to your stories and everything. And that's how I like to teach, is interaction, because I don't want to just stand here and talk to you all day, because we have to do that in college. And you can see people like this and try not to go to sleep. But all right, Mado.
Mado, great to see you.
Mado, see you both.
I'm trying to figure out how to.